Presenting the webinar tonight are myself and Associate Professor Greg Wepner. Associate Professor Greg Wepner is the course coordinator for the Bachelor of Border Management. Greg specialises in anti-dumping and customs valuation, but he has a wide range of customs-specific skills following 37 years' experience with the Australian Customs Service. Greg has conducted training courses throughout Australia and overseas in areas such as tariff classification, valuation and origin, investigation techniques, anti-dumping and countervailing, WTO and GATT law, and the WCO revised Kyoto Convention on the simplification and harmonisation of customs procedures. In 2014, Greg will be the subject coordinator for the first year subject, CUS 103, Customs Procedures. My name is Lily Serick. I'm the Marketing Manager here at CCES, and tonight I have a range of questions for Greg regarding the Bachelor of Border Management, and we'll go through those in just a moment after I give you a quick summary on the providers of this course. The Centre for Customs and Excise Studies, or CCES as we commonly refer to it, was first established in 2002. Since then, we've had over 600 people complete our vocational and accredited training programs, who collectively come from some 180 different countries. We're recognised as international leaders in customs education by the WCO and our peers in the customs industry. In addition to our Bachelor of Border Management, we also offer a graduate certificate in customs administration, and we're working on having a graduate diploma and master's course available in 2015. We also provide a range of industry-specific vocational programs that are tailored to meet the specific needs of organisations. More information on our range of products and services can be found on our website, www.customscentre.com. In July this year, we established a partnership with the prestigious Charles Sturt University. This partnership will provide our students with further opportunities to formalise their skills in customs administration, border management and related fields. Charles Sturt is the largest regionally based university in Australia, enrolling nearly 37,000 students in over 120 countries around the world. CSU is a leader of quality online supported distance learning education. It is the largest and one of the most experienced providers of courses delivered in innovative distance education. CSU is a perfect fit for the CCES programs, providing opportunities for students to go to university regardless of where they live or work in the world. More information on Charles Sturt University can be found by visiting their website, www.csu.edu.au. I have prepared a list of questions that are commonly asked about our Bachelor of Border Management. In the following slides, you're going to see the answers to these questions that I've prepared. So we'll launch straight into it. My first question for Greg is, why should people be taking the Bachelor of Border Management?
Thanks very much, Lily, and hello to everybody out there. First off, thank you very much, Lily, for the very kind welcome. But yes, as Lily's explained, my name's Greg Wepner. I'm the course coordinator for the new Bachelor of Border Management degree. As Lily's explained, she's going to pose me a series of questions, and I'm going to attempt to answer those tonight. So, first question: why do the degree? Lily, as the slide says, customs and other aspects of border management play a vital role in the economy, trade, international relations and national security of all countries. This really creates, as a consequence, a demand for government agencies and private sector companies to develop professional expertise in these particular areas. To specifically answer your question, why do the degree? While I could say that students should enrol in this course because they will find it so interesting and it'll be a great learning experience, and that is the case. But I think the best answer to the question is that students should enrol in this degree because of the employability it will provide them. For those of you currently working at the border in either the public or the private sector, the skills and knowledge that you'll gain from this particular course will certainly improve your promotion prospects, and for those wanting to join this industry, this degree on your resume will make finding the right job a lot easier for you. We'll say you'll be in demand. Now, Lily, another very important reason to do this course is because of the quality and the experience of the teaching staff. In the Bachelor of Border Management, you will be taught by academic staff who all have considerable experience in the field. They all come to teaching you from earlier careers working at the border in either customs or one of the other border agencies, and have years of experience in the particular subjects being taught. Whether it be maritime enforcement, cargo control, customs valuation, all your teachers will have had years of experience in that subject, which will hopefully make your learning experience a very good one.
Okay, thanks, Greg. My next question for you is, what kind of people should do the degree?
Thanks, Lily. Well, again, students who wish to pursue a career in customs, border protection, national security, or an industry career in international trade, logistics, imports and exports, and freight forwarding are the ones who should do the degree. One important point I'd like to make is that this course of study is not just about customs. Obviously, customs procedures and practices are highly visible ones at the border, and this course will study certainly the full range of customs work. But there are also other authorities managing the border as well, and we look across in the course the range of cross-border regulation and really all aspects of the international supply chain. Again, it doesn't matter if you are in or wanting to enter the public or the private sector at the border. This course is really for you. I mentioned employability earlier, and I think this slide gives a broad indication of the types of careers that are or will be available to graduates. Another important and a final point, Lily, to make is that we look at border management in this course from an international perspective. And while you'll be getting a degree from a very well-respected Australian university, the curriculum is internationally based and doesn't focus on Australian practice. So you should think of the border in border management as the border in your country. What you get, we hope, will be transferable skills in this regard.
Thanks, Greg. My next question is, how will the course be delivered? Do I have to be in Australia to do the course?
Thanks, Lily. No, the course is delivered entirely online through distance education. All you need is a computer and with an internet connection, really. You certainly don't have to be an Australian to undertake the course. In fact, the majority of our students are internationals and are located literally all over the world. Everything is done online. We provide you with a study guide for each subject that will guide you through the various topics that comprise your learning for that particular subject, and this study guide will also set out for you activities and what reading and research you need to do. You'll provide all of your assignments and activities online. At the same time, the learning platform allows for online discussion forums, which we will use regularly throughout the course. Online participation in this way will allow you to share thoughts and ideas with other students across the globe. In border management, you'll be surprised how much you will have in common with the other students who will be probably asking the very same questions or facing the very same challenges you are, but of course in a completely different country. Your subject coordinators will ensure that these forums are friendly and enjoyable for you, but at the same time we very much hope that they'll provide a special learning opportunity as well.
So Greg, you've told us about why this course is important and who should apply for it. Can you tell us a bit about the details of what the course is actually about?
Well, Lily, as you can see on this slide, we cover many aspects of border management in this course. The first two dot points are very important roles of border management agencies in that border management agencies are both having to regulate trade by ensuring that the right revenue is collected or that only goods which won't harm the community will cross national borders. But at the same time, they have to facilitate that trade, knowing that if they hold up the free flow of goods, that any interruption to the free flow of goods is really a costly matter for business. That we have to regulate and facilitate trade at the very same time makes the job really interesting. We certainly look at this dilemma, but of course, during the course, but of course we do look at many other aspects as well. For instance, border managers need to understand the many international conventions and agreements that impact on their work. So we will study in the course the international trade conventions of the WTO, the international trade conventions of the WTO, the customs conventions which are administered by the WCO, and we'll also look at many of the United Nations conventions that deal with border-related matters such as transnational crime and the trafficking in dangerous drugs. These international conventions have a pervasive effect across border management generally. For instance, how we classify and value goods for customs purposes and how we determine the origin of particular goods are covered in international agreements that our respective governments have signed. All of these conventions and agreements impose border obligations, and border managers are the ones that need to implement these obligations, hence the need for spending some time in this course on those particular conventions. Another example, Lily, is that border managers not only deal with the flow of goods across national borders, but also the flow of people as well. So along the way we'll study the international passenger environment as well. The security of the supply chain has come quite into focus following the 9/11 attacks. We look at the collaborative efforts between customs and the trade to make the movement of goods and people safer. There's so much to cover, really. There's so much variety in this work, in the work that border managers do. I've often thought that this variety of work was something that made a long career working at the border a very enjoyable one. Certainly in my situation that was clearly the case.
Thanks, Greg. It certainly does sound interesting. Okay, so my next question for Greg is, what subjects make up the Bachelor of Border Management?
Well, Lily, you can see on the screen now the list of subjects that make up the degree. The course consists of 11 core subjects and 7 elective subjects. You'll have to work through, over the 3 years, 192 credit points to be awarded the Bachelor of Border Management. The first year subjects you see there are really foundation ones that built on with the study to come in the 200 and 300 series subjects. Something important to point out here is that there is no need to take CCES electives. We have 4 there showing, but there is no need for you to take those. If you would rather pursue a particular law enforcement interest through taking some of the units that are available from the CSU School of Policing or the CSU Australian Graduate School of Policing or even any other CSU units, this is entirely possible. Really, your study plan in this way will be up to you. We, of course, will help you with this along the way.
Great, thanks, Greg. My next question is, if I have prior relevant experience, Greg, or certified studies, am I able to apply for some credit?
Thanks very much. Yes, yes, certainly. Credit is determined on application. It's determined in accordance with the CSU credit regulation policy. You can see the link there on the screen now to that those regulations. I would suggest to you that that you need to read those particularly carefully. Well, certainly these credit regulations allow for credit for activities which have been gained through prior learning, through uncredentialed learning. There is the possibility for students who have a vast, well, extensive experience in particular subjects to make application for those to be granted credit for those subjects on the basis that they have already achieved through their work-life experience the learning outcomes of that particular course. There is also direct credit, there will be direct credit available for particular accredited certificates that have been achieved from higher education organisations around the world. That will be entirely dependent on exactly what you have already gained through your studies, but if they are pertinent to our particular work, will certainly advance the prospect of you being able to gain credit for those. We need to map the subjects that you've achieved or been granted credit for yourself to the actual learning outcomes of our particular units. But you know, effectively, you know, there could be eligibility of, say, even up to 50% credit with those relevant qualifications and experience. So my advice at this stage for everyone is to read the CSU credit regulations carefully and contact us, particularly if you need anything advice directly. Thanks, Lou.
Great, thanks, Greg. My next question is, what kind of career will I be prepared for by completing the Bachelor of Border Management?
Well, Lily, I think we've sort of touched on this a bit already, and where I particularly mentioned the students' employability earlier. But what we're saying here is that by completing this degree, you will have a unique skill set which can be applied in areas in customs, border management, border protection, customs brokerage, international trade, logistics, freight forwarding, and so on. So let me just sort of give you a bit of a list of those, a few of those particular areas. Say, for instance, in public administration, well, there is a large number of government agencies responsible for customs, for immigration, for biosecurity, national security, for maritime enforcement, for tax and revenue, for trade, for law enforcement, and so on. So any of those government agencies are going to be interested in you. Also in the public sector, in the private sector rather, there is commercial organisations such as customs brokers and customs agents, import and export companies who have to deal regularly with the procedures at the border in clearing their goods in and out of the country. Couriers, express couriers, DHL and TNT and the others. freight forwarders who provide a cargo forwarding service, any of the air cargo and sea cargo providers, shipping companies and so on. So, you know, a whole range of potential areas of employment within the private sector. And on top of that, there are sort of many other organisations which require specialists in international trade and logistics, international trade agreements, trade compliance, even anti-dumping and countervailing, export controls and so on. So all of these employers, we think, will find your degree attractive on your resume. Thanks, Lily.
Thanks, Greg. I do have just a couple more questions for you. All of this information is sounding really good. I guess my next question is, what are the session dates in 2014 and when can I start?
Okay, Lily, well, you can see the session dates on your screen now. You can commence the Bachelor of Border Management in Sessions 1 or Sessions 2 in 2014. As you can see, they'll start in March and in July, respectively. We're not going to teach, or CCS is not going to teach in Session 3 2014 because we think by then we'll need a break to recover. But if you don't need a break in Session 3, you might consider taking one of the available electives that were being offered, and in doing that you might be able to get through the required number of points a bit quicker.
That sounds great, to have the option to fast-track the degree slightly if I choose. My next question, Greg, is, you know, I think I'd like to do the course, so how do I apply?
Okay, well, as you can see from this slide, you apply through the CSU website. You can apply online. Applications for admissions they're very easy to submit online. You simply follow the instructions on how to apply from the online course brochure, brochure relating to the Bachelor of Border Management, which you can find on the CSU, the Charles Sturt University website. It's pretty straightforward. It's just following your nose there, Lily. But I think it's important. It's important that the students take note of the admission codes in filling out the actual application form.
That's great. Thanks, Greg. Now, okay, so I've made the decision to do this degree, so how much will this all cost?
Well, yes, Lou, this may be the unfortunate part. We'd love to provide this quality education free of charge, but unfortunately this cannot be the case. That being said, the fees, I think, are surprisingly affordable for such a unique world-class degree. Domestic students also may be available for Commonwealth-supported places. That's in relation, of course, to Australian domestic students. And international students may indeed be available for or eligible for CSU or other scholarships. You'll need to research these options on the CSU website, as clearly the CCS, the centre here, doesn't manage such scholarship programs, and we can really only point you in the right direction as far as seeking out what might be available for you in this regard.
Thanks, Greg. That's really useful information. I certainly have a better understanding of the course and the subjects that are going to be covered in the Bachelor of Border Management and what I can certainly gain professionally by completing it. Thanks very much, Greg. That's it from us for the moment. If you do have further queries, you can always contact us directly on the details on your screen now. Thanks, Greg, and thank you all for attending tonight, and we look forward to you studying with us. Thanks, bye.